Hey guys, today I wanted to take a look at the OurProgress forecast for the 2020 presidential election between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Now before that, I want to thank you guys all for 1,000 subscribers. Really appreciate everyone who has supported me, either if you're from the beginning or if you're a new subscriber. Really appreciate everyone who has subscribed to my channel. If you have not, make sure you subscribe to my channel right now so you don't miss out on my daily election content all the way up until election night. And of course, after the election, I will be posting other content that I think you guys will all enjoy. So today, looking at the OurProgress forecast, they give Joe Biden an 85% chance of winning the election to Donald Trump with only a 15% chance of winning his re-election in November. So looking at their map right here, this is the OurProgress electoral map that they predict will, this is basically their map prediction right here. Basically, there are, if you look at each of these states, the black numbers is the percentage or the chance that they think each candidate has of winning that state. So in New Mexico, Joe Biden has a 98.1% chance of winning. Trump has a 1.9% chance of winning. And then looking at the white numbers on the bottom, that's basically the margin they expect each candidate to have. So in New Mexico, they think that Joe Biden's going to carry the state by 13.1%. Looking at this map, I agree with most of these projections. I think that all of these safe blue states are going to be safe on election night. I think that they use different classifications. I think they use plus 10 or more as a solid state. So New Mexico, Oregon, Virginia are solid on this map. Oregon, I think, will actually be more than 15%. I don't know why it's so low for Biden on this map, but he's definitely going to carry it. And then for some of these Trump states, in Montana, this state is not looking too good for him right now. This should be a solid state for any Republican. However, for Trump, he's only expected to win by 9.4%. I think that's a pretty good estimation for his average there. The state of Alaska plus 9.9%. I think that's just way too high. State of Alaska barely went to Trump by 10% in 2016. He's definitely not going to outperform that in 2020. I think it's definitely going to be a smaller margin for the president here in Alaska. And then here in the state of Mississippi, plus 9.7%. I think that actually might be a little bit low here. Mississippi is, of course, a very red state. I think that Trump is going to outperform that 9.7% margin that they give him. South Carolina, 9%. I think that's a little bit too high. I think his best is going to be around 8%. But I think it's going to be an average of 7% for Trump in South Carolina, to be honest. Missouri also, I think, is a little bit high. I think around 6-7% is more likely for the president. And then Indiana, 11.6%. I definitely agree with that. And then looking at some of the likely states for Joe Biden, Nevada plus 6.8% for Biden, plus 10% in Colorado. I think Colorado should actually be a little bit higher than that, honestly. Minnesota plus 7% for Biden. 7.8%. Wisconsin plus 5.3%. Michigan plus 7.9%. So they think that Joe Biden is going to perform better in Michigan, a state that went to Trump in 2016 that Hillary Clinton carried, than a state that Hillary Clinton carried in 2016. So I think that this is pretty likely. I think that Michigan is going to be better for Biden than Minnesota, but it's just surprising to see that a state would flip by such a large margin. Michigan has gone basically 8 to 9 points to the left from 2016. And then the state of Pennsylvania plus 5.2% for the former vice president. Pennsylvania is expected to do worse for Biden than Wisconsin. And honestly, I thought this was going to be the closest Rust Belt state, but looking at this map, it is not. By Rust Belt state, out of these three states, but looking at this map, it is not expected to be. New Hampshire plus 7%. I think that is a little bit low for Biden, but these rest of these states I can definitely agree with. Maine, Biden plus 1.43% in the 2nd district. Nebraska, Biden plus 1.77%. I think these two predictions are both pretty good. 54% for Biden in Maine, 56% for Biden in Nebraska. And these swing states, these are basically states where the margin is really low. In Iowa, Trump plus 0.2%. Ohio, Donald Trump plus 0.1%. North Carolina, Biden plus 1.1%. Georgia, they actually give it to the Biden column right here. Georgia, Joe Biden plus 1.0%. The state of Florida, Biden plus 1.6%. Florida is a little bit low. Georgia a little bit too high for Biden. I don't think Georgia's going to go to Biden by 1%. I don't think it's going to even go to the former vice president. I think Trump will carry the state of Georgia once again. The state of Texas, Trump plus 0.9%. I think this is a good estimate for how things will go in Texas. I think Texas will be very close. 47% for Biden. I think that is a little bit too high. If you compare this to things like 538 or RCP, Texas definitely is not doing that well for Biden, but it's still doing very well for Biden compared to previous elections. And then looking at the popular vote margin that they expect for Biden and Trump, they currently expect Biden to win around 72 million votes, which is 51.8% of the votes in total, and then Donald Trump to win 62 million votes, 44.8%. So of course Donald Trump would underperform from 2016. And then looking at the third party vote, 4.7 million votes to third parties, 3.4% of the vote. So I think Joe Biden's going to carry the popular vote by 7%. Honestly, I don't think it's too far off. This is the national polling average, basically, according to RCP, and I think that this is a good estimate for the popular vote on election night. And then basically this is the numbers for their map up above. Basically with only without the toss-up states on the map, Biden is expected to win 289 electoral votes. So basically without these gray states here, Iowa, Ohio, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Texas, they expect Joe Biden to win 289 electoral votes and Donald Trump to win 125. However, with those gray states added on, the toss-up states, they expect Joe Biden to win 351 electoral votes to President Donald Trump with 187. And then looking at how the race has changed over time down here, Joe Biden currently has an 85% chance of winning, like we said earlier, Trump 15%. So Biden's chances of winning have increased over time. I mean, not Trump's, Biden's chances of winning have increased over time. They are still increasing, which I think is pretty surprising. Most forecasts have Biden's chances down from what they were in June and July. However, this is a good sign for Biden. OurProgress is a little bit left-leaning than some other forecasts like JHK or 538. And then looking at the vote percentages that I expect each candidate to have, really not too big of a change here. Biden 51%, started out with 50%. Trump 45%. At the beginning, 44% right now. So honestly, not too much of a change. But still, with both of these charts, you can see that OurProgress thinks that Biden has been increasing his chances of winning both the popular vote and just his odds at winning. OurProgress thinks that Biden is increasing his chances. I think Biden has been increasing his chances, but lately I think they have been falling a little bit for him. But this does show a good sign for the Biden campaign right here. And then looking at the electoral vote distribution, basically where each candidate will win their electoral votes. This is basically the first map, just shown a little bit differently. So Biden's going to win a lot of his votes from California, of course, New York, and then Florida. And then Trump's going to win, from Texas, Ohio. And then looking at the third-party vote distribution here, a lot of third-party votes will come from the state of Utah. Utah typically does not like to vote for the Democrats or the Republicans. I mean, they do vote for them at the end, but there's a larger percentage of third-party voters here than other typical states. Vermont, pretty high as well. Maine is also pretty high. West Virginia is also pretty high. And then looking at the breakdown of the popular vote right here, basically this is where each candidate will get most of the popular votes from. California, of course, being the biggest for Joe Biden. 9.2 million votes is expected to go to Joe Biden out of the state of California, of course, the largest state in the entire country. Texas, 4.5 million votes. Florida, 5 million votes. New York, 4.6 million votes. And then for Trump, his largest state is actually Florida, a state that he is expected to lose on election night. 4.9 million votes from the state of Florida, 4.3% from California, 4.7% from the state of Texas. This is a state that he is expected to win right now. Washington, D.C., let's see, 14,000 for President Trump from the District of Columbia, 299,000 for Joe Biden. Looking at some of these other states, Illinois, 3 million for Biden, and looking at some of the larger Trump states, Illinois, only 2 million for Trump, Georgia, 2 million, Ohio, 2.6 million. So basically, this is the OurProgress forecast that they have out right now for the 2020 presidential election. For Joe Biden, 85% chance of winning. Very good for the Biden campaign. Trump, only 15%. And you can, of course, check out this forecast on your own to search up OurProgress forecast, or you can do ourprogress.org/forecast to find this forecast and take a look at it for yourself. Because, of course, if you click on these states, you can get more additional information on how these races are currently expected to go for either candidate. And so yeah, that is it for this video. I will be trying to get an election night out tomorrow as best I can. It might be delayed to Tuesday or Wednesday, but I will do my very best to get it out for you guys tomorrow. And that it will be my 1,000 subscriber special. Really appreciate all of the support once again. I thank you guys all so much for 1,000 subscribers. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on this video, and of course subscribe to my channel if you haven't, with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on my future videos. As well as that, leave your thoughts in the comments below, along with any video suggestions you'd like to see from me in the future, and I will see you in the next video.